Good morning, and welcome to the Baccalaureate service for North Central College 157th commencement. In a weekend celebrating one of your life's greatest achievement, this is a time for reflection on our beliefs, our values, and our purpose going forward. For 161 years, North Central College has been an institution where faith in reason, light and truth, religious conviction, and care for our mental health, our physical and spiritual well-being has complemented an education that extends beyond our exercise of our minds. You have explored the intersections of your beliefs, your values, your gifts, and your vocation. Students, your exams are behind you, but a new and different kind of test lies ahead. The ethical choices that you will make in this new chapter will impact your work life, your family, and your community. You will have to learn how to be a servant of your family, your community, and to yourself. To show compassion for those who you may not understand or agree with, and to be an advocate for a more just society. And taking on those challenges, remember that you carry a legacy of faith-based education that goes back to the founders of North Central College. They believe that higher education should be grounded in the principles of their Christian values. In this transition to the next chapter, we hope you too center those principles and values. North Central's first president, Augustine A. Smith, envisioned this institution as a great moral light shining clear and steady upon all subjects pertaining to the well-being of humanity. He embodied these ideals. This is part of our legacy and your roots as a North Central graduate. And for many of you, your personal experiences were built on that foundation. We know that the profound impact of the people in our community who have invited you to wrestle with big questions and challenge you to look at the world in a new light. Thank you to the people gathered here in this place who have helped form you, your families, your mentors, your siblings, your significant others, etc. And to our excellent preparation by our faculty, we have a strong tradition of students finding their vocational calling and service to the world. As we give thanks for these gifts with which you have been blessed with, may you never forget the responsibility that comes with these blessings. Not to just do well, but to do good in our families, in our communities, in our country, and in our world. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Eric Nielsen, Daishak Karki, and Allison Grady, who will be delivering our invocation. Thank you.
My Lord, help me to tell the truth in front of strong people and not to lie to obtain the applause of the weak ones.
If you give me a fortune, do not take away my reasoning. If you give success, do not take away my humbleness. If you give humbleness, do not take away my dignity.
Always help me to see the other side of the coin. Do not let me think I betray others who do not think just as I do.
Teach me to love people as myself. Do not let me fall in pride if I succeed, nor in the desperation if I fail.
Rather, remind me that failure is the experience that supersedes the triumph. Teach me that forgiveness is a greatness sign, and revenge is a vile signal.
If you take success from me, give me encouragement to learn from failure. If I would offend people, give me encouragement to apologize to them. If people offend me, give me encouragement to forgive them.
Lord, if I ever forget you, please never forget me.
There is a candle
morning, everyone. Yep, good morning. My name is Daksha Karki, and I'm pleased to introduce our first student speaker, Nuseba Mohsen. Nuseba is graduating with a major in biology, and I've had the pleasure of taking many classes with her here. During her time at North Central College, she has served as the president of the Muslim Student Association and the Pre-Health Organization. As the MSA president, she recently put together a successful Ramadan celebration to share the traditions and meaning of Ramadan with the campus community. And as the Pre-Health Organization president, Nuseba, along with the other members, has put together a lot of different events, such as having blood drives, having guest speakers for giving students an opportunity to network, as well as raising funds for childhood cancer. These past 4 years have not been the easiest, I'm sure for everyone here, and for Nuseba as well. And as a classmate, I can attest to that. However, Nuseba has persevered to get to this point in our academic journey. She has time and again found her strength and courage as she relied heavily on a verse from chapter 94, verse 6 of the Quran. Verily, with every hardship comes ease. Please join me in welcoming Nuseba to share her journey with us today.
Thank you, Daksha. Parents, friends, faculty, guests, good morning. Thank you for being here today. It is an honor to be speaking at our 157th Baccalaureate just a couple of hours before graduation. In the Quran, God says, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Verily, with every hardship comes ease. During my 4 years of undergrad, I would constantly remind myself of God's promise with every difficult assignment, exam, lab report, research paper, or when in the middle of any hardship. I would remind myself soon that I would finish this task and would be able to enjoy a sense of relief and accomplishment. I remember I had a research paper due for biology, and amidst the craziness of the semester, I was pretty overwhelmed. The night before it was due, I was panicking a little bit, and my friend asked me, "You pray, right? Why don't you just pray and maybe it'll help you?" Together, we walked over to the Interfaith Prayer Room on campus in Siebert Hall, and I prayed to God asking for his help. It helped me and gave me clarity to finish the paper. That was pretty powerful for me, both in the moment and when I received my grade, because I was so overwhelmed, but that time conversing with God brought me confidence, encouragement, and calmness. I appreciate North Central for providing a prayer room on campus for students to use whenever they needed to. While serving on the board of the Muslim Student Association and the Pre-Health Organization, we would spend hours preparing for events, and it wasn't always the easiest. It was a great feeling, though, to see the result of our hard work and the impact it had on the students. The effort put in was all worth it, even if it impacted just one student. Earlier this week, Muslims around the world celebrated Eid al-Fitr. We didn't just celebrate the end of the month of Ramadan, but rather it was a celebration of our success in completing 30 days of fasting from both food and water from sunrise until sunset. Likewise, today we aren't just celebrating the end of our education, but our success in everything we accomplished and overcame to earn our undergraduate degrees today. This should reassure us that we can get through any difficulty that we face in the future as we enter this new phase in our life. We're constantly going through different hardships. Just over the past 4 years, many of us may have lost loved ones, friendships, jobs, changed majors or changed career paths, maybe even transferred colleges, but we still made it through and are graduating today. We have experienced growth through our hardships and widened our perspectives on life and are now well equipped to overcome the next adversity. We should be confident that we can handle anything. God also mentions in the Quran that he will not test us with more than we can handle, and that is really powering. Hardships tend to make us better people. We may not realize it, but there's always good that comes from every situation. If we maybe didn't do so well on an exam or maybe even in a class, we probably did something different to do better next time. When going through a difficulty, we should take a minute to remember God and remind ourselves that he promises ease with every hardship. We may have wanted to give up somewhere in the past couple of years, but we persevered and made it through. We succeeded today and will continue to succeed. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you.
guiding my steps through this journey.
Your promises are yes and amen. Your grace and your mercy are sufficient. Lord, you are faithful. Lord, you are faithful. You are faithful.
When I wasn't sure, you still led me. I will stumble and fall, and you still be here.
And even when I couldn't see your vision, you were solid like a rock, firm like a foundation. Lord, you are faithful. Even when I wasn't, Lord, you are faithful. You are faithful. Lord, you are
Today I have the honor of introducing one of our very own at the Office of Faith in Action, Grace Nellis. Grace is our Student Governing Association Vice President of Student Life. We over at OFA know her best from her leadership role as Focus's worship coordinator. She also leads Cardinal Dance Company and Green Scene, and the Cardinal Dance team this year are Nationals champions. Today, Grace graduates with a Bachelor's of Arts in Environmental Studies with minors in Business and Writing. She's received the Outstanding Senior Award in her field, as well as a Student Life Leadership Award. Whether leading worship or line dancing, Grace leads with an effective combination of skill and love. She has some incredible words to share with us today, but before we begin, please join us for a reading in the Judeo-Christian tradition from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verses 16 through 19. This is what the Lord says, He who made a way through the sea, a path through the mighty waters, who drew out the chariots and horses, the army and reinforcements together, and they lay there, never to rise again, extinguished, snuffed out like a wick. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? Now it springs up. I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Without further ado, please welcome Grace Nellis.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Nellis, and like Eric said, I'm graduating with a degree in Environmental Studies this afternoon. Upon graduating, I will return to the most magical place on earth, which is Catalina Island in Southern California, where I teach young people about the wonders of the environment and how to protect our earth at an environmental summer camp. I'll be returning here for the second time, and I'll be sharing the words this morning based off of what I learned my first go-around. At this camp, I am a skin diver, which is a fancy term for snorkeling in a wetsuit. However, I'm really bad at it. I can't really swim very well. I'm really not. I was never supposed to be a skin diver. It's a long story. And I would try to dive below the surface of the water, and I would just bob right back up. And it wasn't until the lead diver suggested that I use a weight belt. And a weight belt is exactly what it sounds like. It's a belt that with a safety clip, and you can attach 5-pound weights to it, and it helps fight the buoyancy of a wetsuit. It makes it much easier to dive. And what do you know? When I put the belt on, it changed everything. And all of a sudden, I could dive, and I could see this entirely new world below me that I had never experienced before. And without the belt, these new experiences would not have been possible. I'm using this belt as a tool to help me explain the things that I've learned throughout my college experience and in life in general. Each weight that I'm taking with me on my journey upon graduating is something that helps ground me, and something that helps me explore a new world and discover meaningful experiences. The first weight on my belt is people. One of the biggest things I've learned in my life so far is that my life is only as good as the people in it. The people in my life are one of the most prominent ways I see God, along with the astounding beauty of nature and the feeling of sun on my face. I think I've hit the jackpot when it comes to wonderful people in my life. My family always supports me, and my friends I treasure dearly. My professors and mentors help me think of things in a new way, and strangers I pass on the street inspire me to smile. Relationships are what make life meaningful, and I treasure the moments of my journey I get to share with others. I can't do it without my people, and I wouldn't want to either. People are the first weight on my belt. The second weight is gratitude. At the beginning of 2020, I made a New Year's resolution that, to my great surprise, I would actually keep, and still kept to this day. And that resolution was that I was going to maintain a gratitude journal. Now, 2 years later, I have 750 or so days of gratitude written across 3 different books. In these books, I've written that I'm grateful for sunshine, the chocolate chip cookie that Eric brought me to our business class, the words of encouragement from my professor, and the beauty of the flowers in the greenhouse that I work in. What I've noticed over this time is that practicing gratitude has rewired my brain. Now that I know I have to write something down at the end of the day, I find myself searching for the good of what I'm going to write about. I notice things that I wouldn't notice otherwise, like the first robin of spring or the soreness of my muscles after a long bike ride. I'm also finding myself able to recognize God's goodness every day through this practice. I'm able to, 1, identify the gifts that I've been given, and 2, say a little prayer of gratitude, especially for the little things. Gratitude is the second weight on my belt. The third weight is trust, and this one does not come as naturally to me, but I wouldn't get very far if I didn't have it on my belt. Trust means a bunch of different things. I trust the people around me will support me for who I am and who I'm going to be. I trust myself that I'm able to make the best decisions that I can and that I'm able to persevere through challenges. And I trust in God. I trust God is guiding me through the hills and the valleys and the ups and the downs. I also trust that I'm following the path God is unfolding for me. Even when the path is uncomfortable and rocky, I trust it's leading me somewhere greater. I trust that if I wander, I will be guided back, and even in the deepest depths of the ocean, I trust that I am not alone and God is with me. Which brings me to my fourth weight, God. Sometimes when I had to lead a dive, I lead middle schoolers, so as you can imagine, it's a very challenging group of people to work with, but I love it. And I would get caught up in the rush of trying to get a bunch of middle schoolers fit with snorkels and flippers and get them into the water safely and no one drowning. And it wasn't until I would get out in the middle of the ocean with all these kids and try to dive only to bob right back up to the surface that I would realize I had forgotten my weight belt. The fourth weight, God, is one that I most often forget, but it's also the most pivotal weight on my belt. Without God, I won't get very far, only staying at the surface and missing out on the beautiful world beneath me. And it's become remarkably clear that without this weight, I'll only stay at the surface. All the weights on my belt I'm taking with me into the world as I prepare to leave North Central. And this time, I will remember my weight belt. Without God, I won't even reach below the surface. As I dive, I'm reminded to trust that I'm safe and I'm on the right path. And as I reach the reef, I express a moment of gratitude for the world I'm able to witness, the beauty of the blue water and the miraculous creatures in it. And finally, I recognize I'm able to share the dive with so many people. My friends, my family, the people in this room, and the people I have yet to meet. I wish you all the best of luck in all of your dives, and I'm grateful to be able to share some of the moments with you along the way. Thank you.
Seems like you had enough, but hold your head up high, even when you wanna cry. God is on your side. It's gonna be alright. It will be alright, 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 alright. Sometimes it can get rough, life throwing punches, and it seems like you had enough. But hold your head up high, even when you wanna cry. God is on your side. It's gonna be alright. It will be alright, 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 alright. It will be alright, 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 alright. Listen, to the right now, to the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop, one hop. It's gonna be alright. Come on, to the right now, to the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop, one hop. It's gonna be alright. To the right now, to the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop, one hop. It's gonna be alright. Come on, to the right now, to the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop, one
Good morning, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2022. Today, I have the honor and privilege of introducing one of my role models and mentors, Professor Sapna Jain, who will be providing us with a faculty reflection. Professor Jain is a senior lecturer in communication and director of the newly established Speaking Center here at North Central College, where I have been working for 3 years. She enjoys teaching courses in public speaking, interpersonal, intercultural, and group communication. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science and Communication from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, Master of Science in Communication from Illinois State University, and law degree from DePaul University. Recently, she was elected to serve as a school board member for Indian Prairie School District, a district that serves 27,000 students. Professor Jain is a lifelong student of dance and music. She is a trained classical Indian dancer and singer and is the founder and artistic director of a nonprofit dance troupe that raises awareness on social issues through the medium of dance. Since its inception, her organization has donated over $20,000 to local and international charities. She cherishes her time with her family and embraces her role as a mother of 2 energetic and curious boys who are the center of her universe. This morning, Professor Jain will be reciting a Hindu mantra in Sanskrit that honors the teacher-student relationship. In English, it reads, "Prayers to my guru, teacher, who is the creator, organizer, and destroyer. With this knowledge, guru, you are the absolute truth. You, Guru, are the one who removes darkness, which obscures the light of awareness. You exist in all names and forms, and when we have good sense and humility, we can see you in all these forms." Now, please help me in welcoming one of my role models, Professor Sapna Jain.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Thank you, Vice President Jessica Brown, Chaplain Doolittle, my esteemed colleagues, whoever's here, parents, and graduates, for allowing me to speak with you today. The mantra I just recited, and my former student Allison so beautifully explained, is something that I've heard recited in my home since I was a young child. From that time, I was taught the importance of the guru, who's the teacher, and the relationship the teacher has with their shishya, or student. The mantra celebrates the passing of knowledge from the teacher to the student, bringing them from the dark to the light, imparting to them knowledge and skills to navigate life. All of us can reflect and identify those individuals who have empowered us with knowledge and skills to navigate our time here at North Central College. Maybe that person's a professor, a parent, a coach, a friend, or maybe even a stranger. These individuals have helped us move forward during challenging times, and certainly we've had our share of those, whether it was moving from trimesters to semesters, moving from in-person to online and then back into in-person, or just making sense of the social, political, cultural, environmental issues that our society faces today. Now, as you conclude this chapter and begin the next, I hope to share with you some tools to navigate tomorrow's challenges. For me, embracing the teacher-student relationship and recognizing that you don't need to be in a classroom to develop such a relationship has been truly beneficial. I have found teachers and teachings in the most unexpected places. And when I look for the teachings, particularly in challenging times, I have learned so much more about the issue, others, and myself. But to find the teaching, and this is what I have found, it's important to enter your spaces with humility, to hit the pause button, so to speak, and just look up and see who surrounds you. So today I'd like to share a lesson in humility in hopes that it will assist you as you begin the next chapter in your life, in hopes that it will teach you, as it did me, to have a deep understanding and appreciation for others and what they contribute to our growth. Humility is the quality of being humble and not holding any excessive feeling of pride. In Eastern philosophies and religions, it is described as an attitude, a mindset, of being open-minded, listening, not just hearing others. It's about being aware of your surroundings and showing compassion and regard to others in the most subtle ways. It's about coming from a space of confidence and self-respect, not arrogance, and having the courage, yes, courage, to listen to others. My first experience with humility came at the age of 4. I started learning one of the oldest forms of Indian classical dance, called Bharatanatyam. This expressive dance form tells epic stories and involves technical dance combinations and facial expressions. But in order for you to understand how exciting this is, you have to know a little bit about me. I'm extremely passionate about dance, and I would do anything to learn any type of dance. And I grew up in a town where people didn't look like me. So to be able to learn a form of dance that is performed and studied thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away, wow, that was a great treat for me. So you can imagine, I was eager to start learning this dance form, and when I walked into class, I was eager to start to learn the choreography. However, class never started that way. We never walked in and started learning the dance. We never even walked in and started warm-ups. What was required of this excited, wiggly, and impatient young girl was an act acknowledging the significance of the relationship between the guru, teacher, and the shishya, student. Although the notion was never explicitly communicated to me by my guru, it was shown through movement. Through a series of steps, I was reminded to acknowledge the space around me, to acknowledge Mother Earth, or the floor upon which I will be dancing, to acknowledge my guru, who had trained many, many years to acquire this knowledge and has the willingness to share that knowledge with me, to acknowledge my peers, who through their achievements and mistakes, I get to learn, and then lastly, to acknowledge myself, this body, this mind, that's present in this space and is ready to receive the learning. Within a minute of movement, I was reminded to acknowledge all those around me before I could be in a space to learn. It was such a simple yet powerful lesson in humility. I mean, what if we enter each space by pausing and acknowledging all that is around us? What if we see all spaces we enter as a classroom? What if we choose to be in spaces we are not familiar with, almost like taking a class you don't know anything about, and entering that space with humility and courage? How might that mindset impact our understanding of others and ourselves? I believe what we will find is that our learning doesn't stop once we receive a diploma, that the teachers and the teachings appear in the most unexpected places, and that it is our choice whether we want to see them. That could be during a conflict with a coworker, and believe me, you will have those. A conversation with the barista, or someone you sit by on the bus. When we start seeing the world as a classroom, we will learn much more deeply about others and ourselves. So class of 2022, in the true Guru Shishya spirit, as you begin the next chapter in your life, I hope you continue to learn with curiosity and courage and teach others with compassion and humility. Congratulations.
Since the name changed to North Central College in 1926, the seal of the college has borne the phrase Lux Veritas, Latin for light and truth. The symbols for these fundamental ideals are a candle and a book. Today, as we entered the space, 2 alumni representatives processed carrying these items to represent light and truth in this space. I want to invite those alumni representatives to join me at this time. Adrian Aldrich, class of 2002, is the Assistant Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Adrian served as the student government president during his time as a student. Devin Allen, class of 2020, will also be joining the class of 2022 as he is awarded his Master's of Higher Education Leadership with the graduate students today. As Vice President Jessica Brown mentioned, from our foundation, the symbol of light was essential to our understanding. When our first president, Augustine A. Smith, talked about a great moral lighthouse, he meant it. In 1861, the nation was still fighting the Civil War, and Smith and his colleagues were ardent abolitionists. They believed that slavery should be abolished. To aid the cause, they founded a co-educational school to train leaders committed to justice and the well-being of all humanity, accepting men and women to the cause, only the second college in Illinois to do so. The tradition of spreading light changed generations of students to serve the oppressed, to challenge injustice, and to go into the world when days seemed dark. Today, Devin will be passing the candle to leaders from the class of 2022 on behalf of the previous 157 graduating classes, as a reminder of those who passed on the desire to spread light both on our campus and out into the world. Your alma mater is also dedicated to truth. A college must be a place, the pursuit of truth, and it must be one of its highest values if it is to fulfill our calling. This truth comes from academic rigor, from open dialogue, from valuing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and from constant vigilance to our values and ideals in all matters. Today, Adrian will be passing along this container holding a book of truth to the class of 2022 as a reminder of those who have worked so hard to share the truth with you in this place, faculty, staff, trustees, administration, and the alumni of North Central College. Now we welcome the representatives of the class of 2022 to the stage. Michael Mays, in addition to being the musical director of Voices of Praise, our resident assistants, and a whole lot of other things, is the outgoing president of the Student Governing Association. He will be receiving the Book of Truth from Adrian on behalf of the entire graduating class. Likewise, Eric Nelson, the outgoing president of Focus, will be receiving the candle as a reminder of his time spreading light among all of you on this campus. Michael and Eric, on behalf of the graduating class and this college, will you receive these symbols of Lux Veritas, light and truth, for the graduates who have come before, and strive to embody these ideals today and every day as you go into the world? If so, say, I will. Thank you. Go ahead. We thank you and this graduating class of 2022 for embodying these ideals during your time on campus. As you transition from student to graduate to alumni, may these ideals dwell within you. May you carry light and truth into the world for all people. May your words and deeds reflect positively on your alma mater, on your fellow graduates, and on everyone you meet in the world. Michael is going to take the book of truth he has received from alumni, and within it there is a book that Adrian wanted to pass on to him. Once we're done, Michael also has a book that he'll be passing on and on and on as we continue to pass truth in this place. And so I want to invite representatives from the continuing student body to join us. Paulina Bogdan, class of 2024, is the president-elect of the Student Governing Association. Angel Tovar, class of 2023, is the incoming president of the Voices of Praise Gospel Choir. Angel and Paulina, on behalf of the continuing students of North Central College, will you receive these symbols of Lux Veritas, light and truth, from the graduating class of 2022, and strive to embody these ideals to your current classmates and those who will join us in the future? If so, say, I will. The representatives of the alumni and the continuing students are going to remain on stage while the representatives of the graduating class join their classmates. I want to invite the Reverend D. Josema Montgomery up to pronounce a final blessing and benediction to us.
Dear friends, as our time together draws to a close, and as we prepare to commence graduation festivities, let us turn to a moment of reflection and pondering. Holy One of many names, we thank you for the joys of this day and for the times that we have spent together while on this campus. We give thanks for the virtuous and the imperfect, the disconsolate times and the advantageous moments of excitement. We give thanks because through it all, we've made it to this day, and we will continue to triumph forth, though this world is perplexed with insensitivity. Empower these future leaders, Holy One, to progress and lead with compassion and grace, justice and integrity, light and truth. When the going gets tough, remind them that they are not alone and that their North Central College family will always be there no matter what. Now, as we take leave from this place, guide us safely upon our journeys. Bless the ones we celebrate with as well, and forever empower us to lead by the example of love divine, rooted in the ethics of grace, justice, and mercy. Help us all, therefore, to be as the Reverend Charles Wesley, the brother of John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, once penned, lost in wonder, love, and praise. I ask you now to stand for the benediction. Turn to your neighbor and say these words of the late Reverend Mary Baker Eddy. And you can repeat them after me, turning to your neighbor. Divine love.
Divine love.
Always has met. And always will meet.
And always will be.
Every human need.
Every human need.
Amen.
Amen.
Congrats, class of 2022. Congratulations. I ask that the audience remain standing but not move until all the graduates have processed from the stage and in the auditorium. Thank you again.